Well, good morning, everybody. I am just hopping on here for our weekly challenge hour live. I'm just trying to find my page here to make sure I'm made on okay and to track comments. So I'm just refreshing. This is what we're working with today. I get to play with the Art Nouveau collection, which I've had in my stash now for a very long time, and it seems like it takes the right photos, and these photos were perfect, I felt. So I'm going to be creating with those. All right, I'm just pulling it up here to make sure. Excellent. All right. So if you guys have comments or you want to say hello, go ahead and post those in the comments. I am monitoring that now. So I'm hoping my internet holds out. It's been an issue lately, but we'll make it, I'm sure. I just wanted to also point out, I did print an official card, but it was like scrap paper, so it's a little bit. Doing National Scrapbook Day, May 2nd and 3rd. That's a Friday night, so 5 to 10 Friday, 9 to 6 on Saturday. So if you guys want to join me, go ahead and sign up for that. I do have an event link out there, so you can kind of find that in the, I sent invites in a Facebook group. One of the Facebook events, so it's in there. Otherwise, I don't know if you can scan that or not, but let me know if you want to come and I can send you a link to register. So, oops, I lost my live. Hold on a second. I'm trying to find where I am. Interesting. I'm trying to pull up my current live and it keeps taking me to my last one because I lost it, and now I'm trying to watch the comments and I can't. But yes, go ahead and join me for that. I would love to have you guys come. It is $35 for the weekend, but it includes like table gifts and all kinds of fun stuff. There's gonna be a make and take. I'm also gonna try my hand at a paper buffet, which should be lots of fun. And if you guys want to check that out, you can. I'm sorry, I'm super distracted because I'm trying to figure out what happened here. Oh my goodness. I'm sure you can still see it. I just like to watch it as well to make sure everything's going well. So I'm just going to keep holding this card here in case you guys want to read the info. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see. Technology is a good time. There we go. I found it. All right. So yeah, and there's another thing I wanted to tell you guys about. If you bring a new to me / new to scrapping, like if I know them, it's fine as long as they're first time scrappers, you will get this at a discount, both of you. It'll only be $15 for the week. So I would love to meet new people. However, I am limiting how many people can come to this. So sign up quickly if you're interested. That way I have space for you. And yeah, like I said, I want to try a paper buffet. I want to try what I'm calling a project recipe bar, which is essentially you're going to build your own project recipe. I'll have instructions. You can get papers for it and then, you know, whatever, pick from a variety of papers and make your own pages, and that'll be part of my prizes and stuff. So it's going to be a fun time, and we're just going to have a blast scrapbooking and celebrating scrapbooking. So I'd love to have you there. So yeah, if you have any questions about that, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you about it. But like I said, we're going to be working on this challenge. And I will say, when I first saw this, I was a little intimidated by it because there's just so many layers. And whenever I see a page with so many layers, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. But it always works out, and it's always way easier than I thought it was going to be. So I'll be muddling through this with you, don't worry. And like I said, I'm using the Art Nouveau collection, which I'm super excited about. So yeah, I would love to, oh my goodness, it did it again. I'm so sorry. Sometimes my lives work just fine, and then other times I get disheveled over here. That is so strange. I keep clicking to open up this current live I'm on, and it keeps taking me to when I did the sneak peek last week, and I'm like, no, this isn't the video I'm clicking. So yeah, I'm so sorry. For this layout, you're going to need a few different designer papers, so make sure you go grab those quick. Oh my goodness, I don't know why this is not working. And then I'm using 4 photos. I don't know if I'm going to probably going to replace where this mat is. And I am doing photos for Morocco. So this is when we were in Epcot. I decided to take really pretty photos there, and obviously I mean, oh, it's still doing it. All right, you know what? If you guys comment, I'll see them after. I'm so sorry. So I decided to put these on Art Nouveau because the colors just seemed right to me. And like I said, this takes kind of a specialized, you know, group of photos for these, I feel. And I also dug out some canary cardstock because I felt like this was probably a good match based on my photo colors with this. So I'm using kind of a yellow. You could probably use an off-white if you have this collection too, but those are what I'm kind of going with. So I haven't fully decided the order I'm going in here. Like, I think I want my base paper. Oh, I have a little scrap in there. I think I want my base paper to be, it's going to be something a little more generic just because there's going to be a lot going on. So I love this paper, but again, it's very, like, it's very niche, you know what I mean? So it goes very well though with like this pattern. And I was like, oh my goodness, it's like this paper was made for Morocco. So I get to use this up, which is super exciting. I meant to check to see if this paper is still available. Last I saw, I think it just the stickers were in the last chance, but I could be wrong. So if you're interested in it, go hop on the CM website and see if they're available. We're going to be cutting a bunch of strips. So even though there looks like there's a ton of layers on here, a lot of it is just strips. So it's not going to be too bad. I think we're going to be okay. So I might also pull out my brocade border maker cartridge and border maker to create some designs as well. So we'll see how this goes. So to begin, I'm just going to follow the steps here. I pulled this right off the CM blog. And as I tell people, if you're overwhelmed by a layout, just follow the steps. I'm not going the wrong way here. Start with step one, you know, and on the blog, they're definitely spaced out. There's pictures between them, and I just printed it on a printer-friendly sheet here, so I can just follow along with you without having a computer in front of me. So on here it says use a light green wood-grained pattern paper as a base, and that is what this is right here. So you see the corner of it and this top part here. And I did debate cutting apart my paper and you know, putting it on a white piece of paper or a white piece of cardstock so I could build my page a little bit, but I'm not sure if I want to do that or not. We'll see. I have a lot of this paper to use up, just scraps of it, so I think I'll just go ahead and use the full sheets like it says to do. But you could, you know, cut a strip off and then adhere it to like a white piece of cardstock as your base if you want to save some paper, because obviously we don't see this wood grain between all of this, so you could just do pieces of it. However, I think I'm just going to stick to the plan that it's written as it's written here and use this as my base. I did debate using this as my base too, so I'm not sure yet. We're gonna go with it and see. All right, so the next one, cut a piece of black pattern paper to measure 12 by 9.5 and adhere to the bottom edge of your layout. And this is where it looks tricky because they're talking about this paper right here, which looks like it's in the middle. However, it is adhered along the bottom, and then they fold it up, and then they stick some strips there. So that's where I got lost a little bit when I was looking at this before even reading it. I was like, how in the world did they do that? And it's simply because they use this big paper and it adhered strips only up to where the fold was. So I'm trying to remember what I was going to do for this. I have like these little halvesy sheets of paper here too. And I debated using one of these. This one's too small to get to the full 9. So I do is I lay my paper out. This is 9, but not 9.5, so bummer. We also have this one, but it's the same as my base paper, so I'm probably not going to use that. It's so funny because I walked into this going, yeah, I have a plan, and then like I started scrapping. I'm like, wait, what was my plan? So it's super funny. This one's too small. So I think what I'm going to do is cut this page up, and this is going to be kind of the one in the middle, and I'm probably going to fold it up like that is my thoughts. And this is where I was going to decide what my base would be, because if I go this way, it could go this way. So it just depends what I want to show. So there are lots of options here because I'm really excited for one, I can use this page, but I'm also like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I'm just so excited. And it's hard because this side's kind of white based and this side's white based, and then both of these are green. So I think that's what I'm going to roll with though, because I don't really have too many other options for this paper. So we're going to make it work. It'll be okay. The other thought is I could make this my base. And again, I'm probably overthinking like everything right now. So you know what, we're just gonna roll with it. We're gonna go this way, I think. And it's gonna be okay. So it's not gonna be much of a juxtaposition here between the two greens, but I think I'm okay with that, with everything going on in the background. So I think I'm just gonna roll with this piece and it'll be alright. I have another page done here. So I'm just excited I can use this paper. So, and I know I've used this for, like, my daughter got henna last year, her and her cousins, and so that was kind of a cool paper to use with that, and it turned out really cute. So this paper is really cute for different things. So if you do have in your stash, don't discard it. You know, consider what you can do with it. And maybe think of things you wouldn't have thought of before. So yeah, just saying. All right, so we gotta do 9.5. So I'm gonna need my little arm out. Focus is a very difficult thing for me, if you haven't noticed. And it's especially hard today because I woke up with like the worst migraine ever. And it's finally subsiding, which is why I'm so stuffed up right now, because every time I get a migraine and I'm past it, my nose is like stuffy for some reason. So I think, yeah, I'm really tired. There's this post-drome thing about migraines, and it's so true. I am like dragging today. So, all right. Hopefully I don't mess up, but well, there's no promises there. All right, so we did our black piece, which is this piece for us. And it looks funny because we're going to put it all the way to the bottom. But like I said, we're going to be covering part of it with strips later. So adhere to the bottom edge and fold up the right corner. So we're going to be folding this side up. So just keep that in mind when you're putting your adhesive down. I'm going to try to avoid this corner a little bit. So I'm going to do this. And you want to put, you know, a decent amount on there. You don't want to be too like, oh, dot, dot, dot. But you also don't want to be like, you know. So it's funny because I've seen so many different ways people adhere. And some people just, and there's no wrong way. I just, with CM adhesive, you don't need to use a ton. And so, you know, if you just dab it, you're fine. The kids especially, like I did a card class, and kids especially were like, you know, and I'm like, oh, you know, like it was rough. And it was fine, they're kids. So just know CM adhesive goes a long way. All right, so we're folding this up the bottom right corner, leaving a 5 3/4 flap. So I think my take on that is to look at my mat and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I probably could go even a little bigger, which means I put too much adhesive on. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm kind of going to the 3/4 mark, 5 3/4 on both ends of this, and it does not have to be precise, you guys. I know folding is scary, and we're gonna cover this anyway, so even though I have this adhesive on there, I'm gonna be covering it with a photo or something. And here it's covered with a mat, but I'm probably gonna use a photo. All right, so since we have our flap, and just do the best you can with that. My other suggestion too, and before you would adhere it down, you could take your oh my goodness, what's it called? The scoring blade of your trimmer and just score like that flap before you adhere it down. That way you know where you're putting your adhesive to. That would have been smart for me to do actually, but I didn't. So what I'm going to do now is also adhere this flap up because I don't want it like just, you know, moving all over the place while I'm trying to do other things. And like I said, this adhesive right here is going to cover it up anyway, so I'm not too worried. Okay. So now, we're on number 3, right? Cut a large black photo mat to measure 4.5 by 4.5, and that's what they're talking about here. And I need to think through what I want to do in my photos. Obviously, I thought this through so well before hopping on. I really love this picture, and I feel like I don't even really need to, I might, you know, trim it down. This one I want to leave full because I love the full picture of this. This one I don't mind trimming down either. Obviously one's going to have to be smaller or I'm going to make it work the way it is. But I definitely want this one to be kind of the featured photo. So the question is, I think I'll put that one there. I like to lay everything out before I get too crazy. I might put this one here because it's so different from that green. And then I gotta decide which ones of these I want to trim down. What size is this photo? Cut a large mat. So this photo is 3.5 by 2 3/4. So This one's fairly narrow, and obviously I don't have any long photos here. So it's all going to be about what I want to feature. And I don't have to cut my photo that narrow. That's the thing too, like, don't feel like you need to trim your photos exactly like the sketch says. If your photos are like mine and they're not fully like these, that's okay. I might leave this one full and just layer them strategically, you know what I mean? Because my photos are already small. I don't have 4x6 photos usually. So I might just layer them differently. It's still going to be a great layout. So, because it's yours, right? And it's getting a page done, and it's, you know, showing off your photos in a beautiful way. So don't worry about it. So yeah, like this little narrow one here, obviously I'm probably not going to do that narrow of a photo because all of these like demand they be big, right? I could trim this one down a little more just because there's a gentleman in the background there that I don't know him. And I really like this framework the most. So I could trim this one down more, and that's probably what I'm going to end up doing, and leaving this one a little more full. I could also trim this one down actually, because all I really care about is that, but it's going to be more square than rectangle, I feel. So just know that's okay. For now, I'm going to just focus on this corner here because that's what we're working on, but I just like to know where my photos are going to go. So we're doing a mat that's 4.5, but before I cut that mat, I want to know how big my photo I need it to be. The photo they want to be, oh, we cut the photo later apparently. Let's see, cut a large photo. Oh, because it's a mat, that's why. To measure here, the bottom right corner, cut a small title mat. Okay, so the title mat's 4x4, which means my photo is going to be 4x4. So like I said, I don't have to do that. So I might just eyeball it first. Obviously my photo is already 4 wide. And I might just toy with what would be cut off. Actually, 4x4 would be fine. It's just the sky I'm cutting off. The sky looks cool, but it's still there even when I trim it off. So I'm going to do the 4x4. And then for my mat, let's see what we got going on over here. I probably want to avoid green a little bit because, you know, I do love this, but I think I need a solid color. So I might go with the canary. I could go through my mats. That's the other thing. I was going to pull out mats and I totally forgot. Today, like, blew up a little bit in terms of migraine world. So I'm going to leave this up here because I'll probably have to trim more. So I keep a lot of my weird mats, like ones I don't really have a collection for, in one of these. As you can see, I have a ton. I do have these in semi-order, don't worry. Like this is like mermaid, and this is, you know, ocean, and I could put these in my papers. This was before I changed my system over, and now I tend to keep my mats in one of the, I don't have one near me, one of the power project folders instead. And I just kept this system because these are all ones I have, like, I don't know what to do with these. So I have that going in here. That's winter and Christmas, so obviously I don't want those. This is camping and outdoors. More camping. I do a lot of camping outdoors. This is summer. So I'm not really crazy about any of these mats. I'm probably not going to use a mat. What I'm probably going to use is plain, which I might go with a brown actually. Hold on a second. We're building this together for sure. And I have a eclectic bunch of cardstock. This is what I grab when I go to crafts and stuff because, like, all the cardstocks are in it. I'm almost embarrassed to show you this because it's so crazy. I just stick a bunch of, like, scrapbook colors in here, or I'm sorry, cardstock colors and shimmers in here, and I throw this in my bag because it has pretty much every color I need in here. And then when I come home, I'll either restock it or, you know, a lot of times I pre-plan my pages, so I will bring the cardstock I know goes with that paper. But I do throw this in my bag for safety because we all as scrapbookers go, what if I need that, you know, when we go away to a crop. So of course I throw this in there because I'm like, okay, well, that's a good brown actually. I might do that one. So it's literally just a mix of paper. Like, that's literally how I roll. This is like a weird, I don't even know if this is CM. I have a bunch of older paper too that someone gave me back in the day. And so I'm also trying to use that up. But I don't like using my punches on that paper just because CM only tests their punches on their paper. So they don't know how it's going to respond to other paper. I know it sounds so nerdy. Oh, that's gold. That might be pretty actually. Excuse me. Dealing with that residual migraine. Oh, here's like a beigey look. I'm gonna leave all these available just in case. I really like that gold. I might punch a border out of gold. Yeah, that's too dark. I don't like that. I feel like this is... yeah. Me and colors, I tell you what. Do enjoy that gold though. I might use that on something else. Notice I do have the canary still that I'd pulled aside. Kind of between... I like that actually. Or do I want to go lighter? Ooh, I think I want to go lighter. Okay, so rather than doing like a large mat, if you have mats, definitely use them here because it is much easier. I obviously don't like math and, you know, figuring things out, so. But this color will work for me. I almost thought of doing that fuchsia because of the flowers, but I decided against that because I feel like the purple might clash with the rest of this paper. I didn't hold it up or anything, but in my head I feel like it just doesn't work. So, all right. I think I like that. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and mat this onto this piece I just cut. And I'm essentially replacing this whole matted area with a matted photo. So just so you know what I'm doing. And like I said, we're going to be covering up this residual adhesive here. And you might want to line up your square. Actually, here you do. Line up your square right on that line where you folded your paper. And that will definitely show if you did it evenly or not. So just do the best you can. No big deal. I kind of folded my paper in the wrong spot before, but that's okay. All right, and then I'll go back and embellish later. I'll probably do that off camera just because that's a whole other lengthy process for me. All right, so we did step 3. So now we're going to cut 2 strips of varying patterns at 6 1/4 by 1/2 inch, which is going to be those 2 that go down here. And then we're going to adhere them along the bottom edge here. So I'm going to go back to my various patterns I have here, including this one, because maybe I want to use the other side. You never know. I like to see all my options. Definitely a girl who likes all of her options in front of her. Okay, so this is what I have left over of this paper still. I do still have this guy under here as well. Ooh, I like that color. I should have looked on the back of that. So we have some options here. That's a good one too. Maybe I'll use one of each of those. And this is the same. I think I'll use, yeah, I think I'll use those. Okay, so we're cutting a 1/2 inch wide and then 6 1/4, so not quite in half, which is a bummer because I could have just done one strip at 1/2 inch and then cut it in half, but that's okay. We're gonna do a 1/2 inch this way and another 1/2 inch one because I'm gonna use the other side as well. Okay, and then we need to do 6 1/4. So I'm gonna put this up 6 1/4. And this is how we're going to start creating that layered look to our, oh, I can't grab it, to our page. I was curious if it'd still work, but it doesn't. 6 1/4. Make sure that strip is not too big. All right, perfect. I'm going to set my trimmer aside for a moment. And then these are going to go, oh, see, I didn't fold my thing far enough. So you know what? That's why I have these bigger ones. Oh my goodness, nope, these would be smaller. Dang it. Sorry. I should have held this up on the mat. It should have worked. That's interesting. Maybe I cut it wrong. Yeah, these ones are shorter. I could go back and refold, but I don't really want to do that. So technically these are supposed to go all the way across, and apparently my fold was a little shorter than what it called for. So we're gonna do that again, but aim higher. We're gonna aim on the high side here. In fact, I might just This is why I do live, so you guys can learn from me before, learn from my mistakes before I, before you do it. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. And this is probably what I recommend too, because that fold might not be exactly the length as they call for. I'm probably gonna adhere these on here first and then trim the edge. That's what I'm gonna do. And it sounds crazy, and you probably are a better math mind than me. And you're probably like, Ashley, just do this, but I'm an English major. I don't do math. I like to read books and write, people. All right, so I am gonna go ahead, and I could have just measured what was here and cut it, but you know what? I wanted the sure thing. All right, and I'm gonna tuck it a little bit, I think, underneath that fold as well, just for extra coverage. And I did use repo on this because I know along edges are kind of difficult. Yeah, my fine motor skills are not the best today, and this was like not the page to do after a migraine, really. Okay, there we go. Got her. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with this one. Hopefully I can use these scraps in other ways that I'm cutting off, because I have a lot of strips now that I can use elsewhere. And usually with these, like, I'll just put them back in the paper bag along with the other papers, and that way if I come up on a project that needs strips, perfect. But if they're in my bag and I'm out of the rest of the paper, I'm probably going to pitch them. That's kind of how I roll with that. All right. So yes, I did this the unconventional way, but it's all good. I need my little rolly caddy here. I am just going to pull that number because I don't want to measure. All right. So there are strips. And we have a bunch of strips left over just for those two. All right. Well, we made it through. It's fine. We did it our way, right? Okay. So now we're on step 5. Cut 3 strips of varying patterns of paper to measure 12. So good. These are a full 12, so I won't have to guess. But a 1/2 inch and adhere along the top edge. Okay, so I could do this again, and you could just, play with what you have and see what's going to look best. This one I've used a lot, so I'm not going to use that one. And the thing with this collection, a lot of the papers are very similar. Like, these two look very similar. They're just 2 different shades of green. How many are we doing? We're doing 3. So it's hard to see on this printout, but there are 3 there. They put a sticker between 2 of them. So I might do, I really like this one, and I don't think that was enough down there. So I might do another one of these. I might do one of this side just to put a darker feel on. And then I might do this one. I don't know. I'm going to start with these 2 and then decide what looks good. Okay. And I had used these for another page here, so the decal, has been cut out of these, which is fine. I'll just cut on the opposite side. You could do a decal strip as well, but just know a little bit might show through from the bottom. So we're doing 12 by 1/2 inch. Yep. I like to do my 1/2 inches this way, in all honesty, just because that's my preference. All right. So here's one. I want to do one of these. Okay. There's 2. And then before I cut any more, I want to lay these out and see what they look like. And then I'll decide which one to do next. Ooh, I might actually. Just kind of pushing that on there. I don't think I would mind one of the ends. I don't know. It's the same color. I might just do, I feel like there's a lot happening on this page already, so I don't want to do too much texture. Might just do one of these. It's a different shade of green, but it's also gonna calm it down a little bit. I'm not a chaos person, I promise. Sometimes I am. I think I like that. Just some basic colors here. Sandwiching this one. I'm gonna go that route. Okay. So now again, we get to stick these strips on. Actually, I kind of like the look of that because it kind of mirrors this. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Ooh, this side has more on it. I'm gonna switch these. Yeah, that's the thing too. If you cut something from patterns, look on both sides and see which one you like better. So I'm gonna go with this side here, this side below. So I have to learn not to do this on my page. That's a horrible habit that I've done where I just work on top of my page and then I accidentally get adhesive on there and I'm like, no. And I'm like mad at myself for doing that. And then I keep doing it. So we all have habits, right? Where we're like, why did I keep doing that? I don't know. And then you're just going to kind of butt this up against this right here. Sorry if you saw the top of my head over and over. Oh, there I go again. See? And I could get my silicone mat. Oh, it's right there. It's holding my phone up kind of right now, so I'm just going to leave it. I don't care if I get adhesive on these instructions, so usually I just throw them away when I'm done, or put them in my file. Alright. And I like to use repositional for strips this narrow because sometimes those are tricky to place. Oh, I do like that too, though. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I might go off here and use that instead. Although I would want to swap those. Yeah. It's fine. I'm just going to leave it the way we had it. It's so funny because I'll see it and I'm like, oh wait, maybe I like that. If you have not watched my videos before, I'm so sorry. I'm the most indecisive scrapbooker ever. And maybe you are too and you're not alone. Which, blessing upon you because I get it. Alright, so we got our strips. And now we are on step 6. Look at that, we're cruising. We're gonna mat 2 4x6 photos, and mine are shorter than that. So just so you know, they're not gonna look exactly like, I wanted this one over here, like this layout. And adhere to the layout. So we're gonna mat these. I'm probably gonna use a color. I'm probably going to want to keep this brown in the mix because I've already used it once. And then I did like that gold, but I think the gold, actually I might need to punch the border first. I'm not sure if I like the yellow now that we have. I do like the brown still because it works. You know, I'm going to punch that gold border first because that will help me know what it's going to look like. And I really want to use that gold border. So let me grab my brocade, which is so funny because when I first got this, I didn't use it as much. And now that I'm working on like things with this, you know, pretty architecture, I use it way more. So I used it for my China page or layout. I guess it was more than one page a few weeks ago. And I just like can't stop using it because it's so pretty, especially with the gold. So and I think this gold, this particular gold came in, oh, I lost it. Came in like a secret box pack or something because I don't have any more of this. However, there's a lighter gold, which of course is buried at the moment, that you can get right now, but it's like a lighter, and I actually like the other one better. Let me see if I can find it. I just happened to pull this one out with the rest of the browns and yellows, so let's see. I have a beat up piece right here. So this is more the one you can get, I think through CM right now. This is one that came in a secret box or something. So I love this gold. I like both of them to be honest with you, but I think this darker one works better here. So just so you know, you can still get pretty gold. It's just a little different. But I love both of them, so for different things. And I think it's a great investment because it adds so much like flair to a page. And I just love that. It's like an easy way to make a page really pretty. You know what I mean? So, and again, there is this thing called a necessary allowance in paper mills. At least with the one Sam works with. So if your paper is sticking out like this on your border maker, that's why. It's not your border maker and it's not you. It's the paper. But once you're done, you won't even notice it. So sometimes it'll hang off of designer paper for that reason. You can just trim it off if it bothers you. This is just a little extra thing I'm doing for my page. It's not necessarily in the instructions, but I think in theirs they had a sticker there, a border sticker. So I'm just doing this because I wanted to add a little more flair to my page. So of course, like, static electricity is real right now, y'all. It's like, it's annoying. It's all good. It sticks to me. It sticks to my table. There's like a bunch of scrap paper stuck underneath my table right now because I slide things off and then it like sticks underneath. So when summer hits, all of these scraps fall under my table. I'm like, what the heck? Where did these come from? And I realized, oh, it's probably all the winter of scrapbooking. So I'm going to kind of layer this on that top strip onto the next strip. I could do it this way too, though. I think I like it up there better, though. And now I am going to need my silicone mat. So I'm going to put this away. I just need to make more room here. Okay. And with the silicone mat, I love it because, I've got some leaves with me. With the repositional, you can use it on dainty little things like this without using, I mean, you could use your bigger one, but then you're like going to be sitting there dabbing like every little piece. Whereas a repositional, you literally just run it over your border in places. You could do the whole thing if you want to. I just I make sure I do the edges really well, like the ones on the end of the paper. And then oops, I don't think I need that extra piece there. That necessary allowance. And yeah, it doesn't stick to the mat. It only sticks to the paper with the silicone mat. And even if you don't have a silicone mat, I've known people have used wax paper before. That's a little annoying because it crinkles up more, but it works. But the other thing is too, if you just use it right on your mat, like say I get some on there, it'll rub right off. That's how awesome it is. So you want to do it right away, because as you can see, I've done it before and didn't rub it off right away, and now there's like pieces on there, but it's pretty nice for that. Okay, so now we're doing our photos. I think this is the one I'm going to trim down. This one's going to go here. I just like to eyeball what we're doing here. That's what I like to do. All right. So in terms of matting these, ooh, almost like a blue now. Man, maybe I'll go back to this color. I know that's under there, but with the gold now it might work out just fine. Well, at least with one of these, maybe this one down here. The thing is, I really like the yellow in this light, and I'm trying to find a good way to make it pop. Ooh, it's almost like a gold more than a yellow. I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. So, look at the brown. Maybe the brown will be okay. I don't mind the brown either. But maybe the blue is where it's at. Maybe that's the one. I think that looks really nice too. And then I also have this darker. I'm just gonna like trade out colors constantly here for a minute. I am so indecisive with colors. It's not even funny. Actually, I think I like that one. I'm gonna use this one. We're just gonna do it. And then I do want to use, I think I want to use a gold down here for this more narrow piece because I have gold up here. And I like to sandwich things. So like say I have something gold up here, I like to add the gold down here because it helps create that aesthetic. Like that overall feel. So I think this one's going to be matted on gold. And this one I might do this brown because that'll bring that part together. So I think I got a plan. So we're good. As long as I have a plan, right? And these two photos are technically supposed to be 4x6. They're not. These are going to be 4x5 1/4. So for that, I tend to just stick my photo right to the paper. It's going to be a very pretty page, in all honesty. Excuse my head. No matter how this turns out, it's going to be really pretty. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I just love that I had the perfect paper for this. All right, and I'm going to do, oops, I have borders falling over here. I'm going to do the Ashley method and cutting it out of my paper rather than measuring first. I just cut it out because I don't like measuring. I like look at it and I eyeball it, and I use my little guides here. If you didn't know, your 12 by 12 trimmer has little guides. It's amazing, especially for people like me who can't center things. So there we go. And then we're doing this one on the gold. Oh no, this one's on the brown. Okay. I think that'll look very nice. I might do it down here actually. Either way is fine. I don't need this border too thick, just thick enough. All right. That might have been, it'll work. And again, I think I made that one side too big, so it's gonna trim a sliver off. It looks too bold. Yep, perfect. All right. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and adhere these down before I trim up my gold one. And on here you can see it's kind of tucked underneath, so you could do that. Or you can just butt it up against, that's fine too. My photo's smaller, so I'll probably just butt it. All right. And this one sets a little bit below, but you're also leaving room over here for a journal box. So it's gonna kind of layer with this box as well, if that helps you know placement wise. I'm gonna just put it right there. And this one we're gonna trim just enough, I think. Oof. Actually, it layers. I just saw that. It does layer. So there's a little grace there. I don't think I'm going to do the full 2 3/4, but we'll see. If I were to do that, I'd have to trim right there, and that's not going to work for me. So I think I'm going to go square on this and do 4 by 4, maybe. Because all I care about is this cool arch, and I just cut that man out, so that's fine. I don't know him, so, and he probably doesn't want to be in the scrapbook anyway, which I don't know why. It's amazing. Okay, and then I'm gonna put this on gold, and actually, since I know this is a 4 by 4, I could just cut the mat to 4.5 by 4.5. I'm assuming the mat is a whole, it's a whole inch bigger, really? Oh, no. Cut a large green, adhere to the layout, cut a photo measure, and adhere onto previous mat. It's like an inch bigger. I wonder if that's a typo. I'm probably going to do like a 1/2 inch bigger. So I want 4, because it's 4 by 4. Yeah, I'm going to do 1/2 inch bigger, 4.5. And I want to like preserve this paper to as much as I can. So I'm going to cut down to 4.5 by 4.5. It's going to look funky. That's okay. My thing too with cutting things out of paper, the reason I kind of do this is I like to have a side that's still a full 12 wide or long, just because I could punch a border, or I could use it to, you know, put a strip on my page still. So I tend to cut in weird places because I want that full 12 inches still to work with if I need to. That's just kind of my take on that. Okay, so then I'm gonna stick this on here. It's gonna be a wider border, which is totally fine with me because I like the gold to pop on this. So I should probably be watching the time, and I'm not. Oh, it's already 1:45. My goodness, we're having too much fun. All right, we just have one more step to go here, and then I'll cut you guys loose. And that's fine. It kind of goes down into these strips, and that's totally fine. So, Yay! All right, so we have one more thing to do. We're gonna make a little journal box here. And I didn't really think through, of course I didn't think through what I'm gonna put there. Ooh, I have this pretty one. But I was dumb and punched on the sides. I can't get a full 12. So I could go this way with it though. That wouldn't be bad. I don't mind that. So this journal box over here, it's very interesting to see. At first I thought this was a big mat and this was on it. It's its own piece of paper though. So cut a large green mat, we already did that. Cut a piece of light green pattern tree paper, which I'm guessing is this, to measure 1.5 by 7.5. Ooh, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is 7.5 easily. Yep. So I'm just gonna take this. I like this side too, but that's not a good journal. That would have been a good mat color. I just found this buried underneath all the stuff. So, all right. So we need a 1.5, right? Yep. So many numbers. Like that. But we only need it to be 7.5, and I'm pretty sure this is bigger than that. So 7.5. Excellent. Okay. And we're gonna kind of layer it underneath our photos. They also corner around them, which, where's my corner around it? It's not on the shelf where it usually is. Oh, it's still in my little caddy, like that. Okay. Oops. They corner around the little corners here. And I'm going to do that too because it adds just another layer of fun to this. All right, perfect. And then, sorry, I have a lot going on here. We are going to butt it up against this photo, and we're going to kind of put it under this one. You're going to kind of center it onto this bottom mat here. Or this bottom paper here. Look at that. Yay. I love it. All right. And the other thing they did on here, and maybe I'll do this when I go to journal, they also drew little lines along the edge. I don't know if you can see that very well. And I might do that when I go to journal. I just feel like it's too much pressure to do on camera. I guess my tip for you, if you do that, is, you know, use a micro tip if you have one, a micro tip pen. If not, just use like the journal end of a pen. And you could, you know, get a ruler. However, the nice thing about this is that it looks very rough, so it looks very sketched. And I actually haven't even opened my new Creative Memories ruler here. Might as well do that now. This is an advisor exclusive at the moment for National Scrapbook Day, and I love it because one, it's blue, and I had a clear one, and I tend to lose the clear one. I can't get it out of there, it's so funny. I lose the clear one all the time because it's clear. And so now that it's blue, hopefully I won't lose it as much. And I love that this ruler goes 12 and like 1/2 inches. So it goes beyond your page, which as scrapbookers we love, right? Because we can line things up a little better that way by looking at our mat. And, you know, and when you set something on your mat, you can see, oh, okay, here's 7 and here's 5, you know, like, so it goes beyond the page, which I love. But my suggestion to you is if you absolutely need a straight line, use a ruler or the edge of something to help do your line. But I like the sketch look of this. So I'm going to do this afterwards after I embellish because they kind of work around that too. So those are my suggestions for you if you want a line there. But I think I'm going to sign off and I will finish this page. I'm not sure I'm going to do title wise yet. I'm going to cut something out on a Cricut or ABCs or, you know, just use a sticker. So I'm going to sign off and say thanks for watching and keep an eye out to see how my page turns out. I will post it with my YouTube post and all that too. So if you guys want to share, make sure you enter your page into my little drawing by Thursday at 11:59. That way I'll see it Friday morning and you'll be in my drawing. So thanks for watching, guys. Keep an eye out for the completed layout or on the title slide of the YouTube, the thumbnail of the YouTube. So yay! I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.